Luke Thomas at the SAP Center in San Jose, California, following Bellator Dynamite 1 just after the press conference, and I'm next to the man in charge, Bellator President Scott Coker. Scott, let's just sort of start with an overview. Give me a grade for Bellator Dynamite 1.
I mean, a grade, I'd say it's an A minus, let's say, for me, because we had some technical fights, we had some great fights, but fights you never know what's going to happen. And the Liam Tito fight, I thought, was a great finish for Liam. The Phil Davis fight, first fight, second fight, the submission and then the knockout, I thought he did a great job. And you know what? I think our fan base really had a good time. I've talked to a lot of people in the hallways, and they all had a great time. And so this is the rebirth of San Jose. For me, it's the first fight we've done here in 5 years, or 4 or 5 years probably. And I always love the fact where you do a fight, the deck gets reshuffled, and then you have more great fights, right? So when King Mo is healthy, he'll come back and he'll fight Phil Davis, and then Phil Davis can fight Liam McGarry, and we have Fernando Gonzalez fighting Paul Daly in an MMA matchup. Kerry Melendez coming to MMA soon. I mean, this is just a lot of great matchups, so that's what we're excited about.
Let's talk about some of the good things that happened, because we are going to get some of the criticisms in just a second. Sure. But Liam McGarry, obviously he's got some work to do in his wrestling, but phenomenal guard. I think he's connecting with the fans slowly but surely. Are you happy with what you saw?
I mean, Tito was doing extremely well, in my opinion, but then he got caught, and Liam, he's just got those long legs and those long arms, and, a guy that can knock you out with either hand or either foot, and then now he's got the ground game that's pretty substantial. I mean, I think Tito was surprised he got caught, and, it's just too bad. But to me, he looked great. I thought he was doing extremely well. So I'm proud of him, but, Liam's a stud. What are you going to say?
Tito Ortiz, what can you do with him? I mean, a lot, obviously. Could you move him to heavyweight? Could you have him stay at light heavyweight? I mean, what sort of big name do you really feel like you can match with him now that the McGarry fight's over and the Frank Shamrock fight seems to be long since gone?
I mean, you know what? Tito against anybody will be, a promotable fight, in my opinion. Tito, I mean, he could fight whoever. He's a great promoter. And, but I think that he's got the title, that feeling of always fighting for wanting to go for the title. I think he's got that out of his system now. So we'll put him in some other fun fights. Hey, maybe he'll fight Fedor on New Year's.
Did he get it out of his system, or did you get it out of your system?
Well, no. I think he knows. He knows, and so it's. I think he knows that. He wants. I think he wants to continue fighting, but he wants to probably do some fun fights now. The original fight that we wanted him to fight here was Frank Shamrock, which had been an amazing fight here, but he chose to fight Liam, and that was a tough task. Didn't work out for him, but we'll put him in some other fights.
Phil Davis, I mean, what a phenomenal... Is this about the best case scenario for a Bellator debut that you can imagine?
Yeah, I mean, this guy delivered. I think that when you think about his capability as an MMA fighter, he can do it all. I mean, he's got great wrestling, great striking, great submission. So to me, it was a great launch in Bellator for Phil Davis.
Any worries as the finals, before they began? From the media row, I could see people from Spike scrambling, chickens with their heads cut off, when they found out that Mo was injured, and then we thought Vassal, and then Vassal couldn't go, and then it was Francis Carmon. Were you at all like, you know what, we were so close to Davis versus Lawal?
Yeah, I mean, of course you're disappointed, but King Mo with one arm is not going to be it's not going to be a good fight, and he's. I don't want him to get injured, more than he is. So let him heal up, and then let's get it on when they're both healthy. That's how I feel.
And again, I know you talked about it briefly at the press conference, but sort of just make the case from your vantage point. You see some folks online saying, well, you know what, I just don't know about tournaments in MMA. Yes, it's a bygone era, but not one that should be romanticized and brought back to life. Your response is what?
I disagree, man. Martial arts is about tournaments. Think about it. When you're a kid at 5 years old, when you go to a karate tournament, you walk in there, you put your gi on, you're sparring with 30 kids down to 15. That's just how it is. And so to me, when I think about the history of martial arts, man, there's some great tournaments, and why shouldn't we continue?
From a production standpoint, it was a sight to behold, certainly in the arena. Were you happy with what you saw, or I guess the better question is, you must have been happy. Did you see things that you might do a little bit differently? I thought some of the sight lines from the behind the cage or the ring, not necessarily all that great. Although there was obviously a lot of good seats there.
Yeah, I mean, this was our first attempt, and we. We'll fix it. We'll fix it, and then we'll move forward. I got some great ideas. I took a lot of pictures, and we'll change the production a little bit. But as far as having a cage and a ring, I think it works. I think that we proved it tonight.
Was there too much on your plate for this one? A lot of glory bouts. You know, there was a lot of bouts generally, even if they had all been MMA. Was this a little too much for a first time?
I think that coming back to San Jose was already a lot, and it was a big task to put on a big event like this. But I think that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to come here and just throw a fight and a normal fight, even a normal tempo. I wanted this to be a way above, and I think that we delivered. I think the fans got their money's worth.
Did Bellator try to sign Fedor? I know Spikes. I know you're going to do a co-promotion.
No, we talked about this. You and I talked about this. You asked me if I signed Fedor. I said we haven't even talked about any money with him. We have not discussed any negotiations, and that's true. And tonight we proved it, right? Because we knew he was in dialogue with Fedor, right? And so when the contract got signed, we never said anything, but we knew it was going to be on Spike TV. So to me, it was a win-win. It's a win-win for Saki Guevara to have Fedor, and it's a win-win for Spike to have Fedor on Spike.
Does this close? Last question. I apologize. Does this close the door on Fedor to UFC?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, Fedor could fight for the next 5-6 years. Who knows?
Well, okay. Well, Scott Coker, congratulations on Bellator Dynamite #1. For all the good, for all the bad, we appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's all good.